All right, so DPM is tomorrow, and I know that y'all are all super excited and are all studying super hard because you want to beat Bridgeland. So I wanted to send out a video just to make sure that at least the key questions, the ones that are really going to be on your DPM, that you've had a chance to go over them, just so you're ready for tomorrow, okay? So I've been telling my kids to put stars next to yours, and hopefully your teacher's been telling you too, okay? So one example, is right here. No solution. All of these, anytime it gives you an equation, there's only x's here, there's only x's here. This is what you did last year. Left side in y1, right side y2. And you're looking, so if I go on my calculator, 2x minus 24, negative 2 parentheses x plus 6. We're looking on the table for where they're the same. And it's right here at 3. So the answer to this one is x equals 3. So that one's A. If I do this next one, 2x plus 24. So y1, I put 2x plus 24. y2, I put 2 parentheses x plus 6. I go to the table. That's not the same. That's not the same. I'm not seeing anything that's the same. If I never see anything that's the same, let's look at the graph. There's that line. There's that line. Those two lines are parallel. So there is never going to be a time in which they intersect. Never. So that means that there is no solution. That is what you need to be able to recognize on your DPM. Okay? Number 2, list the domain of each representation. Okay, we've got our supplemental aids or our anchor charts, doctor, x, y. Domain means x. So what are the x values that you see here? Negative 2. That is the only x value that you see. The really important part is right here where it's asking if it's a function or not a function. My kids were doing crazy things today. They're over here like, oh, let's find the difference, or oh, let's plug it in the calculator. No, don't make it hard on yourself, okay? Function or not a function. Does the x repeat? Is y a function of x? No, because all of the x's are the same. X repeats. Okay, jump down to number 3. Should have a star next to this one. There's going to be a question just like this on your DPM. It wants to know the slope. To find the slope, I have to have it solved for y first. So I'm going to isolate the y. Other side, so minus 4x. That gets rid of this 4x. Write them side by side, and then divide everything by negative 5. The only part we care about is this part in front of x. That's your slope. Negative and a negative is a positive 4/5. Let's look at this other example here. Isolate the y. Other side, so minus 4x. And this time I'm dividing by a positive 5. The only thing I care about is this part right there next to the x. So it's a minus 4/5. 4. This is on your DPM. Given the linear function f of x equals 7 parentheses x minus 2 close parentheses plus 6. Sorry, it's been a long day. Okay, hold up. They just gave us an equation. You better pump your brakes right now. Take this equation. Take the 2 seconds that it takes to go to your calculator and type it in. So 7 parentheses x minus 2 plus 10. Okay, took me 2 seconds. Got it typed in. Now, f of 2. This 2 is in the parentheses. So I wish you could picture me holding my arms in, and they're crossed. So that means that this 2 is an x. So on my calculator, when there's 2 in that x value, what matches up with it? 10. That's what you need to know for your test. Number 5. Which situation best represents a causation? There is a causation question. Come on, this is a gimme question. All you have to do is ask yourself, does it have to happen? As the temperature decreases, do the sales of candy canes have to decrease? No, that's silly. As the number of miles driven increases, does the amount of gas in your car's tank have to increase? No, I wish I had that magic car. If you know where to get one, let me know. The longer the bathtub drain is open, the more water has to drain out of the tub. Yeah, that's just what happens. It has to happen. If you leave the drain open, more water is going to drain out. Okay, on number 6, this one and this one are good, but what you really need to pay attention to is this one and this one. Okay? So it's asking for domain and range. Your teacher may have showed you today, robot dealers. Range is bottom to top. Domain is left to right. That's what it helps us remember. So domain is left to right. So how far to the left does this go? -6. And I'm going to put the line underneath because this is a closed circle. If it's a closed circle, you put the line underneath. I don't remember, is domain X or is domain Y? Well, let's remember what the doctor tells us. Domain is X. So domain is left to right. So the right side is right here at 4. This time I didn't put the line underneath because this is an open circle. Okay, the next part asks for range. So now we're dealing with that robot part. Range is bottom to top. So the bottom is here at -7. I am not going to put the line underneath because it is open. And range refers to y. But guess what? We have another name for y. Do y'all remember what it is? F of x. So f of x. And then it's bottom to top. So the top of this graph is up here at 3. And this one has the line because it is a closed circle. Okay, y-intercept. I'm telling you, do not miss this question. Do not miss it. Just point blank. Don't miss it. It's embarrassing, okay? Y-intercept. Where does this graph cross the y-axis? Right here at 0, -3. 0 of the function. Do not miss this question. We have told you over and over and over and over. A 0 is what? An x-intercept. Guys, your x's are zeros. Forget about them. Okay? X-intercept is what a 0 means. So we go over here. Where does this cross the x-axis? Right here at -3, 0. Now notice I put the zeros with them. If it's written as a point, you need to know how to write it as a point. These are not the same point. This means you go over 0 and down 3. You go left 3 and down 0. This is the y, this is the x. X-intercepts have an x value. Y-intercepts have a y value. You've got to know the difference. All right, this one right here. Joe the plumber uses the linear model y equals 50x plus 75. Blah. Hold up. What did they just give us? An equation. So I'm going to go on my calculator. I'm going to take the 2 seconds it takes to type it in. 50x plus 75. And then I'll keep reading, okay? To calculate how much to charge y for working x number of hours. The time spent is always rounded up to the next hour. What would be the total cost for any job lasting up to 5 hours? So domain, which the doctor tells us is x, is hours. So what is the least number of hours that you can work? 0. Can you work 0.5 hours? No, it's always rounded up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm stopping at 5 because it says up to 5. It's crazy how much you can get when you read. For the range, the doctor tells us range is y. I'm going to go on my table and find the matching y values. When it's 0, it is 75. When it's 1, it's 125. Then it's 175. Then it's 225. Then it's 275. Then it's 325. Bam. You could find the y-intercept, you could find the 0 of it, but that's not on your DPM, so we're not going to deal with it. All right, number 7. This is on your DPM. You've got to know how to pull points out of point-slope form. So when you're pulling them out, the x value is in here with the x, and it's the opposite of what you think. So instead of -4, it's a +4. The y value, it's not a +5, it's a -5. Here, it's not a +4, it's a -4. It's not a -5, it's a +5. Here, it's not a -4, it's a +4. It's not a -5, it's a +5. It's not a -4, it's not a negative, sorry, it is a negative. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now I just look to see which one matches. 4, -5, that's right here on B. -4, 5, that's right here on D. 4, 5, that's right here on A. And -4, -5 is here on C. Okay, 8 is important, but honestly, I'm going to wait, and we're going to do one that's even better. Okay, number 9. Passing through the point, 9, -7.
Betty, report to the reception desk. Ariel, Betty.
Passing through the point, 9, -7, and an undefined slope. Dude, use those supplemental aids, okay? Instead of undefined slope, we should be using Hoy flux. Undefined tells us it's going to be x equals. What is the x equal? Which one's the x? 9. Put a star next to this one right here, because that one's just like on your test. Passing through the point 9, -7, and has a slope of 0. Slope of 0 is y equals, what does the y equal? -7. Passing through the point 9, -7, and has a slope of 2. Giving us a point, giving us a slope. Let's use point slope form. So y minus, what's the y value? -7. Slope always goes in front of the x, so 2 times x minus, the x value is 9. Let's clean it up just a little bit because I don't like this minus a negative. So y plus 7 equals 2 times x minus 9. Number 10, there's a question just like it on your DPM. We got to graph it. So to graph it, you start at -5. Okay, and for a slope of 2, I am going to go up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. Okay, it's going to stay a dotted line because the line is not underneath it. And use your shady man. This symbol right here is just like the nose. So we have a mustache we shade below. So let's look at these points. -2, -1. It is not in the shaded area. 2, -1. Not in the shaded area. -2, +1. Not in the shaded area. 5, -1. Yes, it is in the shaded area. That is a solution. -5, -1. No. 5, +1. Yes. -1, 6. No. -1, -6. No. 1, -6. Yes. Solutions have to be in the shaded area. All right, 11. Put a star next to these. Guys, these are so simple, you're going to be kicking yourself. Okay, honestly, we didn't even teach you this formula because it's so common sense that y'all should know it. We did tell you what A1 is. A sub 1 means first term. So the first term is 2. The only other directions here tell you to add 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 2, 6. Plus 2, 8. Plus 2, 10. And I could keep going as long as I wanted. So if we try this one, doing the same thing, A1, so the first term is 11. And then it tells us, subtract 3. 11 minus 3 is 8. Minus 3 is 5. Minus 3 is 2. And so on and so forth. There is not one like number 12. There's not one like 13. For 14, 15, 16, 17, I'm going to use another anchor chart, IHOD over. Okay? So we're going to ask ourselves, this minus 2, is that in the parentheses or out? It is in. That tells us it's a horizontal change. So we already know it's either C or D. And it's the opposite of what you think. So minus 2, on a number line, minus 2 would normally mean left. But it's the opposite, so it's right. For 15, the plus 2, it's in the parentheses, so we know it's horizontal, and it's the opposite of what you think. So plus 2 would normally go right, so now it's left. Here, this plus 2, it's not inside, now it's outside the parentheses. So it has to be a vertical change. So we know it's one of these. And it's exactly what you think it is. So plus 2 is going to make you go up 2. Put a star next to 17. This minus 2, it is outside the parentheses. It's a vertical change, so it's going to do exactly what you think, which is make it go down 2. All right, so for 18, solve each system of equations using substitution, linear combination, or graphing. For the one on your test that's just like A, use graphing. Y'all are good at solving for y, right? And then you just plug it in your calculator. This one is already solved for y, but you have to know how to plug it in. Is this telling me to divide the 3 by 2? Or just the 5 by 2? No, it's both parts. So I would rewrite this 3 divided by 2x plus 5 divided by 2. That's our first equation. This equation, to get the y by itself, isolate other side. So to get rid of a minus 3x, I plus 3x. We write them side by side. Is there anything to divide by? No. So y equals 4 plus 3x. So let's plug that in our calculators. 3 divided by 2x plus 5 divided by 2. 4 plus 3x. We go second, graph. And I'm looking for where they're the same, right here, -1. But guess what? It wants the y value. Read carefully. What is the y value? 1. Okay, instead of working out this 19, I made up a better example. So we're going to flip over to some other examples I made. I would recommend writing these on a scratch sheet of paper. Okay? So additional practice. What is the rate at which the person is running? So to find the rate, this is like our slope, and it's rise over run. So to get from here, I'm going up 80 over 2. You got to look at the scale to see what it's going by. Up 80 over 2. So my rate is 40. Y'all can do that. It's even easier on your test. Okay? Second question. This is the very first question on your DPM, and I know y'all hate to start off with these, but you can do it. Okay? So just start off, get one of the hardest problems done with, and then the other ones are simpler. Okay? So Samantha has a total of 16 coins. Some are nickels and some are quarters. So we've got nickels, we've got quarters, and there's 16 of them. The total value of the coins was $1.40. We've got money now. So we need money, 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 right? What money is a nickel? 0.05. What money is a quarter? 0.25. They want to know how many nickels did she have. If they want nickels, what should I eliminate? Quarters. So what eliminates with a 0.25? Negative 0.25. So I'm going to multiply every single part by a negative 0.25. Negative 0.25n, negative 0.25q equals, and that would be a negative 4. Now I can eliminate. This plus this is negative 0.20n. The q's are gone. 1.4 plus a negative 4 is a negative 2.6. Final step, divide by negative 0.2. So n equals 13. There are 13 nickels. Guys, this is a multiple choice test. So if they gave us an option of 13 nickels, I could look and figure out, okay, so there has to be 3 quarters. And y'all know how to count money. You could just plug them in and check if you forget how to do this. But I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to do it. Okay, range. This is just like the question we already talked about. Remember your robot. Range is bottom to top. The bottom is here at negative 2. I'm not going to put the line because it's an open circle. And instead of y, we can use f of x. The top is at 3. This time I am closing the circle because it's a closed circle. Which ordered pair is in the solution set of the inequality? This is almost exactly like the one on your review. We start at negative 6, up 2 over 1. Okay, we use our little shady man. So this symbol we're going to shade below. And then we just check the points. Negative 2, 1. No. 4, negative 3. Yes. Negative 3, 0. No. 0, 5. No. It's got to be B. What is the y-intercept? Y-intercept has a y value. So it can't be this one. It can't be this one. Let's look. Y-intercept right here at negative 3. That is the point 0, negative 3. Please know the difference between this and this. Which representation does not show y as a function of x? Which one is not a function? So negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Those don't repeat. 3, 4, 5, 4. Ah! That repeats. That is not a function. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. All good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All good. This is the only one that is not a function. Which equation represents the same relationship? Okay, these are point-slope form. Let's pull the points out. Instead of plus 5, it's negative 5. Y value is 14. Instead of negative 14, it's positive 14. Y value is negative 5. X value is positive 5. Y value is negative 14. X value, it's not a negative 5, it's a positive 5. Y value is negative 14. Negative 5, 14, that's not on there. 14, negative 5, that's not on there. 5, negative 14, yes and yes. So we've got it down to one of these two. So we've got to find out what the slope is. How do I get from 14 to 6? Minus 8. How do I get from negative 2 to 0? Plus 2. Negative 8 over 2 equals negative 4. So your answer is D. Okay, hold on just a second. Somebody's calling me. All right, so this one, just like the one on the review, this one's already solved for y, so let's solve by graphing. To type this one in the calculator, it's 4 divided by 3 minus 2 divided by 3x. Divide each part by that 3. The second equation, we isolate other side, so minus 5x. Here, there's a negative in front, so I have to divide everything by a negative 1. So y equals negative 27 plus 5x. So let's plug those in the calculator. 4/3 x, oh sorry, not x, I lied. 4/3 minus 2/3 x, and then negative 27 plus 5x. Second, trace 5. I'm going to do it on this way because I didn't see the answer right away, just to give me an idea of where it is. It's right there at 5. And it wants the x value, so x equals 5. Here, what is the equation in slope-intercept form of a line that passes through these 2 points? They are giving us equations. If they are giving us equations, you better use them. Go to y equals, let's type in that first equation. 3/5 x plus 4. According to this, it should have these 2 points, negative 4, negative 2. No, that's not on there. Okay, let's try the next one. 3/5 x minus 7/5. Negative 4? Nope, that's not it. Okay, 3/5 x minus 1/3. Oh, sorry, plus 1/3. I lied. Second, trace, negative 4. Ooh, that's close. Negative 2.067. But no, it's not exact. Okay, here, 3/5 x plus 2/5. Ooh, that first point is, let's check the other point, 6/4. Yay, that's our answer. That's not hard. Equations in calculator, check points. You can do that. A sequence can be generating using this thing, an equals a sub n minus 1 plus 5, where a1 equals 7. What are the first 4 terms? a1, that's your first term. Only other directions it tells us is add 5. 7 plus 5, 12. Plus 5, 17. Plus 5, 22. You got it. Guys, I really think you're going to do well on this DPM. I know that we can beat Bridgeland. I know that we can beat Ranch. Dude, we can beat everybody, okay? So make sure you've gone over these questions, and you got this. Just be confident. I'll see you tomorrow.